Hi, my name is Adeline Wiseman, and I have chosen Class Dojo for my EdTech tool. This app I find really cool, so let me share some things about it. Let me find my tabs. Okay, so we're gonna start over here at the Google Slides. Class Dojo, a Go React project by Adeline Wiseman. What is Dojo? What is Class Dojo used for? Class Dojo is a software that encourages students via reward points. This software uses a system based on good behavior and paying attention and focusing and doing your work during class. It focuses on also being nice to other students, listening to your teachers, listening to your parents, and how well and effective you do the assignments and read the posts on the sites as well. Parents could give points as well as teachers, which is kind of fun. And you can set them into groups. You can do it individually. You can do class points. So if you want to say like, oh, if you get this many points as a class and this many points as individuals, then you can do like successful things in the classroom to be like, so in the classroom, you can give them like physical prizes and do the point prizes as well on the app. It involves parents into the classroom in a very well way. The parents are able to actually download an app on any tablet, Samsung, Apple, like any device, and they are able to check their kids' progression in the class, which is something I really think is necessary in a classroom because it keeps kids, especially younger kids. I made mine on a 3rd grade platform because 3rd and 4th grade are the grades that I really want to teach. And so it helps the kids stay motivated, and it helps their parents be able to make sure that their kids are actually doing their homework when they're saying they do their homework. Okay, so the review of Class Dojo, does it actually work? So Class Dojo's ratings overall are 4.7 out of 5. They're easy to use is 4.7 out of 5 as well, and the customer service is 4.6 out of 5. Some of the pros are that I love that teachers can praise and encourage their students by giving them points, which they can accumulate and use for various reasons. We can connect with parents to share information and classroom happenings, which is in parent involvement. There's just a lot of, when I was looking through the reviews, the pros of it is a lot of, they love how the point system works. A lot of teachers use a point system in the classroom, but I think technology point systems work well for everyone because you can keep track of it better instead of doing like weird tally marks or weird like little dots on the board that can get erased. You can keep track of it better. I really like some of the people who also said that it's good between the communication between parents, because some apps use communication, but it's not as effective. It's not as easy to use. Maybe it's not as helpful. Maybe it's not as like pretty of like a learning system, I guess is a way to put it. The bad sides of Class Dojo that people have said is that the safety of Class Dojos and things like that. They said that it's kind of rough because you can add worksheets and things in videos, but the videos don't have like a system where it shows like you can't edit your video. So if your kid has something in the background and you can't really hear it, then you can't really like edit your videos to change the volume or something like that. Another thing is that some of it gets a little frustrating for some people because it can become time consuming for them to like use the app because people get way too creative about it or teachers get way too like strict about how it is. Another thing that's kind of hard is that when you use a worksheet on the app, you're not allowed to take a picture of it. You have to print it out and or you have to like do it in a weird way on it, and it doesn't let you like share it in good ways. So you have to either do a photo of a printout or you have to do like a worksheet and then have them write it down and then send it to you in a different way. So that's a little confusing. It's a little confusing to see how they also submit their paper. So as most apps, Class Dojo definitely has their things that they need to work on, but overall they said that it's a pretty parent helpful app and people like it for most communication reasons. On the Pigrat scale, it got a 15 out of 18. And it, sorry, not the Pigrat scale, the Triple E scale, it got a 15 out of 18, which is exceptional. It has its little weird things like most apps do. This app is fairly new, and so it's very weird to use. A lot of the reasons why it's not very high up is because it's like in like the middle of high up is because it has its weird quirks with like how you purchase it because your school has to have it authorized before you can use it. You can't just use it as a singular teacher. You have to get it authorized through the school. Let's talk more about the pick-rat scale, though. So on a thing, I would guess that it's more interactive than it is creative or passive. It kind of just states what it is and just kind of goes along with it. So I'd say it's more in the interactive. And then I would say that it amplifies, because it does it in a way where it amplifies the technology and the communication strategies in order to become better. And it amplifies them in a way that is easier for the on-time, on-task students, and it helps them realize their personalities and realize how they can be as a student and help them become a better student for the future as well. So that's always a good thing to have. One thing that I really liked about it was the differences between this app and other apps, because I was kind of thinking about what apps were similar and I couldn't really think of a lot at the time because there's a lot of technology apps out there and there's a lot of parent communication apps nowadays as well. One is Google Classroom. It's a website that you can use to make an environment for kids. It's not very parent. You can't really, you can talk to the parents, but it's not as parent friendly on it. I like the reward system on this one better than the other one because it doesn't really use a reward system. So you can check what your kids are doing, but you can't really reward them for it. Nearpod is one of another. It's very, very similar to Class Dojo. They both have interactive learning softwares. I would say Nearpod has more activities that are more online and less like you doing videos and text. So sometimes it's more happy for kids because they can play games as well. Like they're not just earning points for just random things, but they're earning points from games. So I feel like kids can do better with games. Schoology is a really good one because it is different in the way that it doesn't have a good parenting thing, but the learning environment on it is spectacular. The system's pretty easy to use. Again, it's a newer app, so it does have its quirks, but it's a pretty good social networking student. Each kid is allowed to post, if they're struggling or something, they can ask questions and do things like that on Schoology, which is really cool. On Class Dojo, it kind of struggles in the area of not really knowing what the social networking is about it. You can post, but you can't really do anything with the post. It's kind of just there just to let your kids know, oh, hey, there's an assignment. Whether in Schoology it's used more as a discussion board rather than a post. Another ones are Blooms, ClassTag, Edmodo, and Remind. Those are all kind of more communication softwares and events management. But I would say that the first three are more Google Classroom, Nearpod, and Schoology are more of the top competitors with this app. I would say Google Classroom is probably the number one. The difference is because that one's free and anyone can use it, and you do not have to have a school's opinion first. Same with Nearpod. Schoology is the same as Class Dojo, and you have to be careful because it's not always free and it can get kind of expensive. The next one is things people should know about cost and accessibility. Class Dojo has a free version. It does not have a free trial when you want to set up for those premium options. You have to go full in for the premium option or you don't go full in. It kind of does everything on the free version. The non-free version just gives you more point systems. It gives you more assignment bases. It gives you the opportunity to choose multiple ways of submitting assignments, and it gives you more of a parent involvement aspect, but mostly it's about the same. It has to have students, can involve parents. Parents are a big deal in this app. It doesn't work fully without the parents' involvement, which I really like. It does work for students, but it gives way more meaning when you have parents in general, I believe. Parents should always be involved in their students' learning from a capability standpoint, where it shouldn't be full in parents, but it should be about halfway, because I feel like teachers need parents' involvement, but they don't want parents to be over the top where they're trying to control what the teacher is trying to do. So it does a good job at making sure that it stays. The good news is that it can be on a computer, like Mac or laptop or PC. You can do an iPhone, Samsung, tablet, iPad, tablet. If anything you want to put it on, it will work. So that's always nice because we love accessibility to all softwares, which is really nice. I really like the app version. I like how they did that as well because everyone carries around a phone. So even if your kid's at school, you can check their Class Dojo on your app. and that's kind of fun. How would I review it? I would probably give it actually a 3 out of 5 overall. It's very easy to use but makes sense, but it's a little funky in the assignments category. How you submit things is really weird. You can choose between text, video, and a bunch of things, but you can't choose photo and worksheet. So you have to like submit it in like a back way, or you have to do like a worksheet that like you're able to work on as well as submit it. So it's like a really weird in that way. I think the other thing is kind of funky is the parent setup's really weird. You have to use like QR codes or like in-class passwords, so it can get a little hard to involve to like first start off in your classroom. I think also a big one is that you can't use it alone. You have to have your whole school have it, which is kind of annoying because some teachers like it, other teachers don't, and so I don't like that aspect of it. I would use it in my classroom. I am very friendly on the point system idea. I love a good point system with kids because I feel like it drives them. I was a primary teacher in my church for about 2 years. We used a point system where if they were good, I would move it like one tick over, but if they were bad, I would move it one tick the other way. And I saw how kids react when their tick gets put backwards. They like freak out and do better. And so I think when kids can see a visual representation of their point system and they can have a physical reward or even like a visual reward, then I think that helps a lot. I think parent involvement is good. Like I said, it's come and go. You want to have it, but you don't want to have it completely. Some parents can get a little controlling over their children, which can be a little scary. So I think this app gives enough parent involvement where they can check on them, but not enough where they can be like, this is not doing good. You know, like my kids aren't learning, this isn't a good software. So I think that really, really works. Let's use Class Dojo. So I kind of wanted to show you a little bit about Class Dojo, the app. It's kind of hard to explain, so you kind of have to show it. So this is the beginning. You set up an email, you say if you're a teacher or student, or like you can be like a proctor where you can like be like a second teacher, kind of like almost a TA. I am underneath an educator. I actually put Howard Jokes, which is my elementary school from when I was a kid, because it made me put a school in there. And then they give you like a starter class, so like an example class. So I just continued. They named all of theirs after famous actors and actresses and singers, aka Beyonce. That's why she's in here. I put myself in here. I also put myself as my parent. So as you can see, as you look into it, you can do the whole class and you can click on it. And these are the positive feedbacks. So if I click on helping others, it makes a cute little noise and then it adds 1 point to all the little ones. But you can also add more skills. You can edit your own skills. You can do negative ones, so you can actually give them less points if you want to. You can click on the average student and do that. You can even message parents. So if they're not doing really good things or if they're excelling, you can message the parent and be like, your kid's excelling. You can do this. Or he's not doing very well, you should check out this. You can submit, so if they're in like group projects, like their tables in like the classroom, you can make their tables each a group, and then the table that gets the most points, then when you click this and you go award group and you go helping others, and it makes the cool little noise again. But then when you come back here, they each have another point, but now it's up to 23, so it's a little aggressive, but yeah. I think the point system is very easy to use. I like how you can add your own, and you can add negative ones too. So I think it could be a little fun thing for them to like check out. The cool thing is down here, they have a toolkit, attendance, select multiple, random, timer. These are all like random things. So this is like group maker, noise meter, shares like how much noise is in the classroom. So it'll like balance up and down depending how loud they are. And then if they get too loud, it like takes off points randomly. And then it shows like today what they're doing. This is music if you want music in the background. This is think, pair, share is like time for them to like discuss things. Random gives them a random activity. Directions is like what you want directions. And then you can time them on things, which is kind of fun. I like the attendance button as well. You can mark them all here or absent. See, they turn red if they're absent. And then that's like if they came in late, that's if they came in halfway. It's just really fun because it like you can like mark attendance. So then the kids So then the parents can see if their kids actually made it to class on time instead of like quality dying in the hallway, which is kind of nice. Let's go to portfolio. So this is the portfolio. Portfolio is basically, I like to call it the e-binder, where everything kind of is laid out. Like in school, you have like a folder where everything there. Its portfolio is basically just their folder online. These are all the posts. I went ahead and I made a couple little worksheets. This one, it says word of the day, and so saying the word, and then I gave them a word, and they're supposed to submit a video of them using that word in a sentence and like spelling it, because I'm an English minor. This is an all about me assignment, so it has a little cute little video of this like Dojo monster, who's like ninja monster, being like, I love to learn more about you. Do like all these writing and drawings, and it can make you into like a cute little monster for like introduction videos, which is quite adorable. I made a spelling worksheet. This is when it gets a little funky. And if you click on the worksheet, it like opens it to a separate tab, but you can't like work on the tab, if that makes sense. You have to like write it down on paper and then like submit it in like a backwards way. So that's a little weird. You can create activities, so you can have them submit via text, video, photo, drawing, worksheet. Worksheet is the one I was just talking about, but you can't, once you submit one, you can't submit another. So I would like it if you could submit two, so then you could do worksheet and drawing, because that might make it a little bit easier to use. Another thing is that you can assign it to just one student. So if one student doesn't do their homework, you can reassign them an assignment, which is kind of cool. They have activity ideas, which are actually Class Dojo created activities for them. So you can, and they like are just like fun things for them. They're like games basically. And so that's kind of cool that they give you more. So yeah, that's that. You can see who's not yet submitted. You can see who's approved. You can grade them on here. You can show their parents' grades, which is kind of cool. This is the class story. It's kind of like a Facebook feed almost. It kind of looks identical to it in some ways, which is kind of weird. But you can do photos and videos, files. You can record yourself, and you can say events like, we're meeting this. We have a field trip this day. Be prepared, doing all those things. I went ahead already and I said, make sure to check your homework, because I think it's important to remind them to do their homework, because they're going to be kids, and I know how kids forget homework very easily. I would too. So, you know, you can also, this doesn't always work. So we're going to see if it actually loads. But this is the messaging software. See, yeah, it didn't load. The messaging software really is just messaging. So you can get your parents as contacts, you can get your kids as contacts, and you message them via this app and be like, oh, I saw you didn't submit this. Is there anything I can help you with? Or they can ask you, like, say this won't submit, then they can ask you, okay, this is how you submit it. This is how I can help you submit it. This is what's happening. This is your problem, kind of a thing. You can also do like presentations on this. You can also create little PowerPoints if you really wanted to make a little PowerPoints. There's also decorations. You can like decorate it with like monsters and things. The fun thing is that each kid gets to pick their monster. When you add them as a student, they get to like design their own little like monster and put like its like personality on here. So it can be like a ninja or like a teacher or like a, like they can like make it have like an occupation and things, which is quite cute. And I think that's a really fun touch, is that they get to choose their like favorite color and things, because it's a little bit more personalized. Like they get to see their monster grow. And I think kids do a lot better when it's like cute based instead of like, okay, it's just like your face in like a circle. Like, no, it's like a monster that does karate when you do good things. Like it's kind of cute. I made mine a pink monster that has a bandana. And yeah, it's kind of cute. It kind of gives me Fruit Ninja vibes. So the cool thing is they have a setup program. They, when you first start, they give you this little booklet, and it tells you how to set up student accounts from inside the classroom, outside the classroom, for the parents, and for the administrators of the school. And so you print the individual code sheets, you send it home with the students, or tape it. I kind of like the idea to tape their code to their desk, so that when they get in the morning, if you have iPads or like tablets in your school, then you can like have them scan the QR code and then it logs them in automatically. So they look like this. See, it says Leonardo DiCaprio's login poster because weird actor and actress's names. They get a QR code and then they do the QR code, enter as a student, and then they scan it, which is kind of cool. And then the parents will get a similar QR code, but they will get a passcode with the QR code, and that'll be a separate login. Instead of clicking student, they'll tick parent or like administrator or things like that. And then, so you'll give each kids, I really like how they did that portion of it because I like the idea of setting it on their desk and taping it on there because it makes it a lot easier to use. I also like just overall, this website does a good job at making it pretty straightforward. It's really cute based. It has a really good software behind it. I think they thought it out pretty well. The fact that you can share so many things and do video entries is really fun because I know as a kid I hated typing things out. So doing like videos is really a fun idea. I also like that you have a lot of parent involvement where you get to either message them or you get to do things like that. Like you don't really get to do that when you're a kid. Like there's not really a lot of things that allow you to like directly involve the parents in like point systems and like showing them their point systems and taking attendance on a different software. Like I feel like it combines it all pretty well. So I think Class Dojo as an all, I would definitely use it in the future. I think I would suggest for students and teachers to be aware of its faults, but also to embrace the fact that it does its job pretty dang well. I think that it's very important for us to be aware of how education and technology will be able to be so more avid in the future. I think we're never going to stray away from technology. I think if anything, it's going to grow bigger and bigger by the minute. And so I think it's definitely very important for us to remember that we as a society need to accept technology into our classroom. So I think this app helps us be able to push technology into a thing that's inside the classroom and be able to share it in a great light. And so that's my presentation.